For me, I experienced a lot of death in my life, and I find myself being so emotional,
Mm.
meaning I feel it in my body and I have to clench my palms because my palms hurt really bad when I'm in deep sadness. And the thing that I was told, at least when I was 9 years old, we were in a limo behind the hearse, and my uncles, from what I know, would tell me, boys don't cry or men don't cry, wipe your tears. And I remember, I don't know if I yelled at them, but I said, I'm going to cry if I want to cry. And ever since then, I've tried to hold back the emotions, funerals, and it just comes pouring out. I remember I was at another funeral, church member who I wasn't even close to, but I just felt such deep sadness. And I look around and none of the other guys are crying, even the people who are related to this person. And I was not related to this person. And I was
Wow.
thinking, why am I the only Korean male crying at these things? And it's all the females that I know are just, they're crying hysterically. And I'm, all the women are crying. None of the guys are crying. I'm the guy that's crying.
Mm.
And I remember feeling alone in that. And the other thing is, in high school back in the 2000, early 2000s, guys didn't cry that much and they hid their emotions a lot. And there's a lot of locker room talk. But I've noticed if you pull a group of people in closer, then you can find more vulnerability. But when it's a mass group, nope, forget it. Usually guys don't show their emotions.
Mm.
And so that's how I connect toxic masculinity to funerals, because men just don't cry,
Yeah.
at least from my experience. And so I remember that being a big point in my culture where I'm like, I don't like this part of my culture where men have to be stoic, and I don't think it's healthy. Even in my work as a clinician, I've noticed the acceptable emotion that Asian males can feel is anger and rage, but nothing else. It's
What
almost
did,
normalized.
what did that do to you as a person? Because earlier in our conversation, you said whenever you feel emotion, you tend to clench your fists
Like this, because the
like that.
palms would hurt. Yeah. I don't know why. I always remember being, am I being crucified like Jesus? Because it freaking hurts.
I've never heard anyone tell me that before, that like they
Me
just feel
neither.
emotion.
I
What does
feel
that
it.
feel like for someone who doesn't know?
It- It's worse than a paper cut, I'll tell you that. It's an aching pain in the palm of my hands, to the point where I have to clutch it in order to dampen the pain. I remember feeling very shaky and crying, my shoulders, my hands, because I'm clenching my palms. Almost like something is sitting on my chest.
Wow.
Yeah, when I'm
Is
in deep sadness.
it's only deep sadness. It's not like anxiety, nervousness.
So for me, that's deep sadness. Anxiety is more, okay, I've had a situation where I would get hot, like a hot flash. Traditionally, women was like, men don't get hot flash. I'm like, whoa, you could get an anxiety attack. And it's, I feel this warmth, and then I feel it and I just start sweating. My back is sweaty. My chest is sweaty. My hands are clammy, shaky in my body, but there's no pain associated with anxiety for me.
Mm.
What else? Sort of like a nervous feeling in my gut. And anxiety also manifests. I've had a sensation where it was like a tingly, numb sensation in my upper chest area to the point where I had to go get an EKG and they do a ultrasound on my lungs to see if everything was okay. And there was nothing. And so that's how stress and anxiety manifests for me. But yeah,
I'm genuinely curious. Did you ever grow up thinking, is there something wrong with me that I'm the only male in my culture and at my church who actually feels this deeply?
yes, I have felt different more so that I'm the feely type and not man's man, if you want to call it that. I'm sure there's a ton of guys who feel the same way that I felt, but just didn't know how to put a finger to it. I distinctly remember feeling different in college. All of my friends, closest guy friends, we still all talk to this day. And I remember in being a devotions group, and these guys don't talk about their feelings as much, and I'm the one who has to be vulnerable to break the ice, and then we all start crying. But it always took a catalyst to do it. And I remember getting so frustrated with these guys. I said, guys, I feel like the thumb because the thumb is separate from all the other fingers. Like
Yeah.
it has its own thing. It's not related to any of these other digits. And I remember one of my buddies, he's like the most man's man. He does construction, but he also loves art. And he's like, he puts his head down and works. You see all these qualities subconsciously attaches to what a man is. And I was always jealous of that. Like, why couldn't I be like that? But I remember him saying, like, as much as you feel different from us, we needed you to be that person in our group, or else we would have never opened up to each other. And so I'm still wrestling with it, but I don't feel like I stick out that much now. So it was nice to have their validation, be like, no, we needed you. We just did not open up to each other.